Hey folks, welcome to another edition of Play Branson, where you get to know Branson's entertainers better. My name's Chris Myer. I'm going to be your host for the show today. And on the show today, we have Joey Hurd. And Joey is a rising country star with roots here in Branson. He's been a performer here in Branson in the past. And we're just excited to encourage him and learn more about him and what he is doing on the country music scene. Now, guess what? It is summertime in Branson. We've hit the month of June, and so if you're at home saying, where should I go on vacation this summer? Well, let me tell you, you should come to Branson, Missouri. You're not going to have any issues with getting out of the country and whether it's open or closed or that type of thing. Branson is open. Branson has done a great job of being safe with COVID. And we've been into this COVID thing for a year now, and, it's really up to everybody whether they want to wear a mask or not. Obviously, a lot of the regulations have gotten more reasonable, but people are still taking precautions here. But you can come to Branson and you can have a lot of fun. And there's a lot of outdoor activities here. Folks, you can play golf on world-class golf courses. You can go out boating. You can fish. But you can do theme parks. You can go to tons of shows, which we're all about shows here. There's tons of attractions. And so I can't think of a better place in the country to go on vacation. So if you're thinking about where should you go, you need to come to Branson, Missouri, because it's the perfect place to take your summer vacation. We'll be back in just a minute with Joey Hurd, so stay tuned. Hey folks, welcome back to Play Branson, and today on the show for the very first time I have rising country star with Branson roots, Joey Hurd. Joey, welcome to the show.
How are you?
It's great to have you here. I'm doing great.
Yes.
So I don't even know how I came across you, quite honestly. I don't know if it was an article or on the internet, but I'm like, this guy's from Branson area.
Oh yeah, well we try to do as much as we can, try to keep up the online social media presence,
So let's go way back. We kind of have a standard format as we go way back in history. And so talk to people about like your journey musically and how you got into this business.
Absolutely. Well, when I was 9 years old, no, I think it was 8, I started singing at church and doing a special Christmas program. About 9 years old, really started singing to the radio, started writing songs. I wrote a song called Far, Far Away. And at that time, my parents, they didn't know what to do with me. Nobody else was musically inclined in our family. And so they said, go sing Far, Far Away. And I said, okay. So I went and started writing a song called Far, Far Away. And that's when I knew that, hey, God above gave me a special talent, to be able to sing. And then later that evolved, and, I've got involved with an organization for talented individuals called American Kids Incorporated.
That's been very big here in Branson in the past.
Absolutely. And that's the first time I stepped foot on stages here in Branson was because of the American Kids organization. And Dr. Dell, the founder.
Yeah, and he's still here in Branson.
Still doing it, and he's ramping up to kind of revive the organization, which is good for young folks. And so I look forward to being involved in that to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you're doing this as a young kid, and so did you start taking lessons then?
Yeah, I started formal vocal training when I was 12. And since then, I have had probably about, outside of college, about 4 different vocal coaches over the years. Okay. And I have a couple now, a husband and wife duo, that look after me, and I go and we work on, they just kind of look after my voice and make sure I'm not ruining it.
Yeah. So you're doing this, and so kind of talk to us about, okay, you're growing up, are you like, take us on the journey.
So, in 2011, we moved from Branson to Music City, Nashville, Tennessee. Started learning the ropes out there, making connections that still happen today, and we lived in Tennessee for 4 years, and there was some point, life happened, and I told my beautiful wife, I said, honey, let's move back to Missouri. Let's move back to where we started. Get closer to family, because we lived in Nashville for 2.5 years, and we lived out in Dolly Parton's hometown, the Sevierville, Tennessee, in the Smokies. And then when we moved out there, hardly any of our family came out to see us. It was just a hard commute. So I said, honey, let's move back. And let's move back to Branson. And so we did, and our families have gotten to see us a lot more. And it's a good central location, And
so when you were in Branson before 2011, were you in shows then in Branson, or?
Yes, I was one of the comedians and performers at Dolly Parton's Dixie Stampede at that time. It will forever be Dixie Stampede to me.
Yes. It's hard to make that name change. I get it. So you were Skeeter.
Yeah, I was one of the Skeeters.
You were one of the Skeeters.
I was one of the Skeeters, and of course at that particular show, a ground tech, a dancer. They very seldom let me on the horse. When I got to get on a horse, it was the biggest horse they had, and it was for a little over 10 seconds when I was doing Skeeter, So, yes, that was when I joined that show in 2006, that was my first time around big animals like that. So.
Yeah. Now, was that besides American Kids, was that like your first show in Branson that you did?
No, I did the American Kids. Let's see. I'm trying to go through the resume. Andy Williams and Margaret at Moon River Theater. Thoroughly loved that. That was incredible. The Promise, the Mansion Theater, right up the road here. Huh? The Promise, the Mansion Theater. That was real short-lived for me, because then at the end of that season they closed.
So did you work with Bill and Randy Brooks?
No, I worked at the Mansion Theater's version. So
okay.
It was a different version, but love Randy. Yeah. I used to keep in touch with him forever. I mean, when I was a younger guy, and even when we lived out in Tennessee, and somewhere along the line, I think he went overseas, and we lost touch. I miss Randy.
Well, I think he's on Facebook.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
See?
There we go.
Facebook.
There we go. So you're doing Skeeter. And that was in the when did you say about 06?
06 to 2010. Or I'm sorry, 06 to 2011.
Okay. So you did it for quite a while.
Yeah. Well, I took a break there because I was invited to Moon River Theater to be with Andy Williams.
Okay.
That's kind of how we do around here. We kind of bounce around. And,
that happens, yes.
I thought it was fun. It was just fun. It's been fun.
So, when you go to Nashville, when you go to the Smoky Mountains, are you performing over in the Smokies at all, or?
Oh, well, absolutely. We will be doing. Of course, the pandemic has, really shaken up the entertainment scene, the bookings and lack thereof. But we are ramping up now, and we've got a great team of people. So we will be, casinos and festivals coming up. I know we were going to play at CMA Fest in Nashville. And that's typically the second week of June, but 2 months ago they had canceled that.
Canceled all of it.
That whole thing. Yeah, it's so sad.
Hey folks, we'll be back in just a second, and you're going to see Joey's video right now, so stay tuned.
Looks like you could use a shave and a couple of good nights sleep. Man, I just saw you yesterday, but I guess I didn't see just how bad you've been slipping. Everybody says you're living pretty rough. What kind of friend would I be if I didn't say you need to straighten up? You made it crystal clear that you don't want to hear, so I'm giving you a visual this time. You won't believe nobody else, so turn and face yourself and tell me what you see in your own eyes. The mirror never lies. I think I see a little gray, but that don't mean you're old. You're not old. You might have lost a little faith, but you ain't sold your soul. These dreams that you've been seeking, well, it might be you could reach them after all. Yeah, but what the hell do I know? I'm only a reflection on the wall. You made it crystal clear that you don't wanna hear, so I'm giving you a visual this time. You won't believe nobody else, so turn and face yourself and tell me what you see in your own eyes. The mirror never lies. If you wanna hit me, go on and give me your best shot. It'll get you 7 years of something you've already got. If you walk away from me, you'll be running out on you. It's time to face the truth in your own eyes. The mirror never lies. The mirror never lies. The mirror never lies. The mirror never lies. It looks like you could use a shave and a couple of good nights sleep.
Hey folks, welcome back to PlayBranson. You just saw The Mirror Never Lies by Joey Hurd. Joey, like, you've written albums. I mean, you've got an album out that was released back in 2014. I just listened to it today, and it was great.
Yeah,
and then you've released some newer stuff, like the video we saw. So kind of bring people up to speed, like what you've been doing recently, and just kind of since you've been releasing your own music.
Oh, sure. Well, you know, we never turn down a great song from other songwriters also. So we have our songs that we're writing together, me and my producer. I've written a song for my beautiful wife that we've still got to get done. Mm-hmm. I've been sitting on that for years. And, you know, sometimes a good song just, you know, it's okay for it to sit there and marinate and, and y'all finally get into the studio and produce it upright, just like we did with The Mirror Never Lies. The Mirror Never Lies, I sat on that song for 6 years.
Oh, wow.
I told the main songwriter, a great friend of mine, God rest his soul, he passed away right before Christmas. And I said, buddy, I want to do something with that one song you gave me that's on a disc. And he said, please do something with it. And so we did. And I got together with who's now my producer. And we just gelled. We just, it's like, oh yeah, let's do this, let's do that. And then people referred me to a music video producer, and then we gelled, and that's how the latest single came about. So we're really excited, up and coming, because we've got new songs that have been pitched to us from Grammy award-winning songwriters out of Nashville.
That's awesome.
And we're excited. Yeah, the very next single is from these three award-winning songwriters, and we're super excited about that. It'll have a different vibe, a different feel. We'll kind of lean a little more towards traditional country with that, but not too much. We'll put a little pop element into it, but it will be leaning towards traditional country.
So it's a much more difficult task to go out on your own, release new music, than to be in a show in Branson where everybody's coming to see you. That's a pretty tough task to do.
It is something. I mean, you've got to have some heavy hitters in those cities that are making new music happen. You like in Nashville. You've got to have a good team of people, and we're growing. The team is growing, and I'm excited.
Yeah.
Just had a meeting this morning, and it just really went good. So.
So if someone's never heard your music before, now you said something kind of traditional country, but how would you describe yourself, as an artist?
I would say there's a little bit of pop, and a little traditional, pop country.
Okay.
There we go.
Pop country.
And we throw it out there everywhere digitally. Spotify. Spotify is the biggest. Amazon, iTunes, Google Play. But I think a lot of people do Spotify, so we make sure that music hits Spotify. 1029 The Z out of Harrison, Arkansas plays the latest single. And if somebody else does, I don't know. So a lot of internet radio stations, over 16 different internet radio stations. It's hard for me to keep up with those, They come at me and say, hey, can we play your... I said, well, sure, go ahead, play it.
Absolutely. Now, you've worked with legendary songwriter Paul Overstreet in the past, and then also you had the legendary Jordanaires on one of your songs as well. So talk about both of them.
So Paul Overstreet was the writer for Country Life on the How It Feels album. And I met Paul when I was a kid because of American Kids. And I know he lives over here in Missouri, over in Galena area.
Really? I didn't know that.
Oh, shoot. Did I say that? Anyway, he wrote that song, and it's just, it's got his signature stamp on it. We just left it alone. It's just good.
I had a Paul Overstreet album when I was a younger kid.
Oh, yeah.
And I do remember him performing in Branson way back in the day. I think like a couple times maybe. So.
Oh, sure, yeah. He's just, and then his brother Tommy, he's a great, talented writer and artist in his own right. Let's see, the Jordanaires. Now, here's a little tidbit on technology. Number one, I never met the Jordanaires. Okay, I do know that at least a few years ago there were still 3 of them still living. One of my songwriter friends in Nashville was connected with them, and they live in Florida. And so he said, this song, I want them to do background vocals. So I'm going to reach out and get them to do that. So they Dropboxed their vocals. They recorded their vocals in Florida, sent it up to Nashville at one of the biggest studios we were using.
They mix it all together.
And that's just technology today.
Yeah. And so if people don't know, the Jordanaires actually did a lot of backup vocals for Elvis.
Oh, yeah.
And so that, if I got this correctly, that song is called Beers in a Bucket.
Beers in a Bucket.
Beers in a Bucket.
Oh, yeah.
So, the thing, and I went, before this interview, I went and listened to that album from 2014, and so that's like 7 years ago.
Yeah.
But you know what? It sounded really good and fresh. And some albums you listen to, they sound old.
Yeah,
right?
Sure.
That did not sound old, and it sounded.
I'm good.
It sounded
glad.
good.
I'm good.
So.
I'm glad.
So if people want to book you, they can book you, and you will come and perform for their private event, a concert, a fair, whatever. And they can come to your website, right?
joeyheard.com. Find the official social media pages, Facebook, Instagram.
They can find you there and send you a message, and you'll reach back out to them.
We'll reach back out to you for sure.
Okay, folks. Yeah. Here's the deal. Go listen to Joey's music. You can find it on Spotify. You can find him on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. And so I love it that we have an artist that's here in Branson that is doing original stuff and really trying to go out there and share his music with the world, and really excited about that. So go out there, check him out. Joey, thanks for being on the show today. We appreciate you being here.
Yeah.
So we'll be back in just a minute with more.
There are so many things to do in Branson. You need help planning and booking all your fun. You need ibranson.com. You can find everything Branson has to offer from your computer, tablet, or cell phone. You can even buy tickets online or talk to one of their friendly Branson travel specialists. There's no sales pitches, no delivery fees, no service fees, and no waiting. It's fast and easy. Find your fun at ibranson.com. Do it all online or call 877-ENTERTAIN. That's 877-368-3782. ibranson.com.
Folks, welcome back. We're wrapping the show up today. I want to encourage you to go check out Joey Heard on Spotify. He's got videos out on YouTube. I think you're really going to like his music. If you like country, and he said, he's got a little country, a little pop in there, I think you're going to like it. Here's the deal. Next week's episode, I have got Megan Mabe from over at the Ballknobbers Theater. First time she's been on the show in over 4 years, so it's been a long time since she's been on the show. I'm looking really forward to talking to her. Couple things coming up right away. On June 11th, out at Silver Dollar City, we have Mac Brock as part of their summer concert series. He's a what I would call a contemporary Christian music artist. You're going to love him. The next night, out at Silver Dollar City on June 12th, we have Vertical Worship. And I can tell you, if you're into the Christian music scene, you have heard a lot of their songs, like Spirit of the Living God and Yes I Will. They've had a ton of hits. I think you're going to be blessed if you go out to Silver Dollar City and see Vertical Worship. And coming up later this year out at Silver Dollar City, July 24th, the one and only Chris Tomlin. He's been here before, but it's been a long time. And you'll want to check that out as well. Now, also this coming up week, June 12th through the 19th is National Law Enforcement Week. And so we want to thank all our law enforcement. Typically, Branson is doing something very special for law enforcement. So you can Google that and find out what's going on here in Branson for National Law Enforcement Week. Here's the deal. If you need tickets, if you need to help planning your Branson vacation, if you are not like, hey, what should I do? I don't know what's going on. You can call the folks at ibranson.com. You can go online, check it all out, or you can call them at 877-ENTERTAIN. They can help plan your entire Branson vacation. One other thing, we want you to like us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or you can even go to PlayBranson.com and check us out, see all the past episodes on there. We want to thank you for watching, and we'll be back next week.